Hey everybody, I'm going to do a quick video on how I solder on Dean's connectors. I think one of the tricks to soldering on Dean's is the heat on the Dean's, on the copper spades, brass spades. The least amount of time the heat is on there, the better, because then they don't melt the Dean's connector and then them lugs get loose. The trick is the soldering gun like this. Don't get hot enough to do it fast. So I use an old soldering gun like this, an old Weller's. This thing's older than I am, but it works very, very, very well. Got your Dean's connector. I use a like the 6040 rosin core solder. Get it from Radio Shack. I use a small .032 diameter, just small stuff. I do not use a flux because normally the Dean's connectors are new enough and the wire's new enough that it doesn't make a difference. I haven't had one fail. So let's get after it. I'll try to make the video as short as possible. Got my old battery. I'm going to snip the end off. Had a friend that had some batteries, wasn't using them no more, and they have the old 4mm ends. So we're gonna just cut one at a time here. So we're gonna pop the red off. Sorry. Strip it back a little bit. Twist it. Set it in here on my patented wire holding device. Soldering gun going. Get it good and hot before you even put the solder on the wire. Get your little glob of solder on the end of there, and that'll help transfer heat. Probably can't see, my hands are in the way. Make sure you got it all the way around. Okay. Now I got red's positive. So what I'm going to do is, good and hot again. We're going to put it right on the end of the spade when it gets good and hot. Make sure she's dang good and hot. A little bit of solder on the end, and it should darn near just transfer right over. Hot. Put a little solder right there. Like that, right there, done on getting the solder on the spade. So when I end up, get it to focus on it, I just got a glob of solder sticking on the end there. Okay, so that goes back in there. Don't forget the heat shrink. Slide my heat shrink on. So now got it tinned here on the end of the wire. Got a little bit of solder on here. What I'm going to do is just stick it on there, like hold it on there, get my soldering gun good and hot, flip the battery over the side. Okay, soldering gun's hot. I'm going to put the wire on there, push against it, and it should just melt the solder right on. Hold it till it cools. Bam. And you can see I got it hot. Soldered it on. And what you need to look for is along this edge where the wire meets the spade. If you get a cold solder, you can see a hairline crack. But then I take it and give it a little test under fire. I'll whack it on the table, and I've actually had, if you mess up and have a cold solder, you can see cracks will come on, or you can see it a hairline crack. So let me heat shrink this really quick, and I'll be back. We'll do the other side. Okay, let's get the negative done and we'll be finished. So, once again, clip, strip, get your wet sponge, wipe it off, get all the crud off of it. Good and hot. This is harder than I thought it'd be on camera. I'm trying to make it to where you can see it. There we go. Don't be afraid to put the solder on that wire. You don't hurt it. Don't skimp on that. Take your sponge, cool your wire off just a little bit so you can get your heat shrink on there. Okay, we're good. Heat shrink. Don't forget the heat shrink. Set up in here. Just right here. You're good and hot. Good and hot. That's the trick. Get some on the end to help transfer. There. Got my little blob of solder on the end. Can you see it? Oh, wire's in the way. See, I got my little blob of solder on the end there. There you go. Okay. Now this, wish I could get a good shot of that. Might try to do it backwards here. Just gonna hold it on there like that. Can you see it? Yep. Okay. Hold it on there like that. Get her good and hot. Starts it smoking. Don't stick it on your thumb. Watch it. Melts in. See it? Hold the heat just for a second. Dang right. Got a little hair sticking up there. That's a good one there. You can see it. The other one was kind of, the other one wasn't the best in the world. The lighting's horrible. We'll heat shrink this dude, and we'll be done. See, turned out pretty decent. I got a little glob there on the positive side sticking out, but you can take a razor blade or file or something and clean that up. But like I say, trick is a good hot soldering gun, and get the soldering gun good and hot before you even stick it on the spades, on the Dean's connector, and the heat will be on there less time, and it won't melt the plastic and distort your spades and all that bit. So, have a good one.